Hello there. Welcome back to the YouTube. How you doing? I've been doing quite well myself. Had a bit of a sinus headache the other day, but what you gonna do? It's that time of year. And I got allergies. Either way, let's get started, baby. Last we left off, water turned to blood. Pharaoh didn't like it. So, let's get started. Chapter 8. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Let my people go, that they may serve me. And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house, and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thine ovens, and into thy kneading troughs. And the frogs shall come up both on thee, and upon thy people, and upon all thy servants. Because unsurprisingly, fish may die in the now red water, but frogs can jump out, and they are about to do it en masse. And the Lord said unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Stretch forth thine hand with thy rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt. Ultimately, supposedly, they were doing this to, prove, oh yeah, they're just magicians, we can do this too. But, by doing so, they just made it worse. Which I find hilarious. And Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and said, Entreat the Lord, that he may take away the frogs from me, and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may do sacrifice unto the Lord. And Moses said unto Pharaoh, Glory over me, when I shall entreat for thee, and for thy servants, and for thy people, to destroy the frogs from thee and thy houses. Excuse me. That's not when I shall do this, it is when. Like time. When shall I entreat for thee, and for thy servants, and for thy people, to destroy the frogs from thee and thy houses, that they remain not in the river only? And he said, Tomorrow. And he said, Be it according to thy words, that thou mayest know that there is none like unto the Lord our God. And the frogs shall depart from thee, and from thy houses, and from thy servants, and from thy people. Then shall remain in the they shall remain, in the river only. Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried unto the Lord, because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses. And the frogs died out of the houses, out of the villages, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank. Unsurprisingly, once again, fish ain't surviving in that red water. There's already a ton of decay there. Now we just got dead frogs on top of it. Ugh. But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, everything's good now, he hardened his heart. Note, God's not hardening his heart. Pharaoh's doing that one all by himself. And hearken not unto them, as the Lord had said. And the Lord said unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Stretch out thy rod, and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And And they did so, for Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beast, and all the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. Oh boy. And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So there were lice upon man and upon beast. You tried to make it worse, and I applaud your effort. But you ain't God. Then the magicians said unto Pharaoh, "This is the finger of God." And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, because remember, Pharaoh is supposed to be God. So that is quite the insult. And he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said. And the Lord said unto Moses, "Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water. And say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are." In which, considering how much decay is now in Egypt, they definitely got reasons to stop by. Yeah, boy. "And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, where the Israelites are staying, to the end that thou mayest know, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end that thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth." Because unsurprisingly, they're not going to get away from red water. Not the slightest. Not from the blood. Be quite difficult to get away from the frogs. But flies, you're never getting rid of them flies. So if they don't appear in the land of Goshen, ooh, that should tell you a lot. "The end thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth," which is what Pharaoh was supposed to be once again. "And I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be." And the Lord did so, and there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt. And the land was corrupted by reason of the swarms of flies. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron, and said, "Go ye, sacrifice to your God in the land." And Moses said, "It is not meet to do so, but we will sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptian to the Lord our God. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptian before their eyes? And will they not stone us?" The only thing they really have currently is owned by the Egyptians. Being slaves, they unsurprisingly don't have exactly much for themselves. So, unsurprisingly, the Egyptians see that they, are sacrificing their stuff to their god. Yeah, they're gonna want to kill them. "We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness, and sacrifice to the Lord our God, as he shall command us." And Pharaoh said, "I will let you go, that ye may sacrifice to the Lord your God in the wilderness. Only ye shall not go very far away. Entreat for me, please." And Moses said, "Behold, I go out from thee, and I will entreat the Lord, that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. But let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully any more in not letting the people go to sacrifice to the Lord." They're not even asking to leave currently. They're just, We'd like to go sacrifice to our God. It won't take long, I promise. I'll grant you, Pharaoh doesn't trust that in the slightest, I would not imagine. But, nonetheless, it's not exactly like they're asking to be free currently. They ain't asking much. Pharaoh, you are fully bringing this on yourself. And Moses went out from Pharaoh, and entreated the Lord. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses, and he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also. Neither would he let the people go. Who could have foreseen? Hey. Chapter 9. Then the Lord said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, and tell him, Thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For if thou refuse to let them go, and wilt hold them still, behold, the hand of the Lord is upon thy cattle which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the donkeys, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep. There shall be a grievous rain. And the Lord shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. And there shall nothing die of all that is the children of Israel's. Okay, maybe they weren't sacrificing the animals of the Egyptians. Maybe they did have stuff. I don't know what the heck Moses is talking about with the abomination of the Egyptians, though. He's talking about something, but I don't got the context for what that is. Not either way. Basic idea. Gonna be real problems with the farm animals of Egypt. Israel's farm animals, they're gonna be just fine. See. And the Lord appointed a set time, saying, Tomorrow the Lord shall do this thing in the land. And the Lord did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Egypt died. But of the cattle of the children of Israel died not one. And Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. This man is asking for trouble. How can one man be so stubborn? And the Lord said unto Moses and unto Aaron, Take to you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven, in the sight of Pharaoh. And it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast throughout all the land of Egypt. So basically, there's going to be boils on literally everyone in Egypt and what little animals are left. And they took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it up toward heaven, and it became a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils. It was just way too painful. For the boil was upon the magicians, and upon all the Egyptians. And the man has gone through multiple bits of the worst thing you could imagine, and still said no. And after all this time, he's not getting another chance. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had spoken unto Moses. And the Lord said unto Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For I will at this time send all my plagues upon thine heart, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth. For now I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. And in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to shew in thee my power, that my name be declared throughout all the earth. And I mean, considering what I'm doing right now, I'd say he succeeded. As yet exaltest thou thyself against my people, that thou wilt not let them go? Behold, tomorrow, about this time, I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as hath not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, even until now. Sin therefore now, and gather thy cattle, and all that thou hast, in the field. For upon every man and beast which shall be found in the field, and shall not be brought home, the hail shall come down upon them, and they shall die. He's given them a chance. Unsurprisingly, his main problem's with Pharaoh. So he's given these people a chance to just protect themselves and their stuff. You fear the Lord? You've seen every single thing that's happened? Welcome to what's happening next. Prepare. He that feared the word of the Lord among the servants of Pharaoh made his servants and his cattle flee into the houses. And he that regarded not the word of the Lord left his servants and his cattle in the field. He warned you. And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch forth thine hand toward heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, upon man and upon beast, and upon every herb of the field, throughout the land of Egypt. And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and the Lord sent thunder and hail, and the fire ran along upon the ground. And the Lord rained hail upon the land of Egypt. So there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as there was none like it in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. An interesting fun fact. Well, a lot of archaeologists have started to actually put the Exodus somewhere around 1500 BC. It's also around the same time with the Santorini volcano. The only reason that we know that that is even remotely relevant is because volcanic ash apparently actually works very similarly to a fingerprint, so you can actually track back to which volcano it came from. There are theories that the particular phenomenon that is described here is something modern science calls volcanic hail. Look it up. And the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail smote every herb of the field, and brake every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, was there no hail. I will note, while I did mention Avaris being the main place that Israel was, they were throughout all the land of Goshen. The entire Avaris didn't take up the whole land of Goshen. There were bits and bobs of little pop-up cities here and there, you know. It's just Avaris is the one I know by name. And Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron, and said unto them, I have sinned this time. The Lord is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Entreat the Lord, for it is enough, that there be no more mighty thunderings and hail, and I will let you go, and ye shall stay no longer. And Moses said unto him, As soon as I am gone out of the city, I will spread abroad my hands unto the Lord, and the thunder shall cease, neither shall there be any more hail, that thou mayest know that the earth is the Lord's. But as for thee and thy servants, I know that ye will not yet fear the Lord God. not gonna happen. We've gone through this song and dance enough to know that ain't gonna happen. And the flax and the barley was smitten. For the barley was in the ear, and the flax was bald. I don't know what those terms mean. I don't know if that means they were ready or just about to be ready, but either way. But the wheat and the rye were not smitten, for they were not grown up. Okay, that means the barley and the flax was ready. Okay, good to know. And Moses went out of the city of Pharaoh, and spread abroad his hands unto the Lord. And the thunders and hail ceased, and the rain was not poured upon the earth. And when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and thunders were ceased, he sinned yet more, and hardened his heart, he and his servants. This just is not enough for you now, is it? And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, neither would he let the children of Israel go, as the Lord had spoken by Moses. Chapter 10. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, and the heart of his servants, that I might shew these my signs before him, and that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy sons and of thy sons' sons what things I have wrought in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that ye may know how that I am the Lord. And Moses and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh, and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, How long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. Excuse me. Else if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow will I bring locusts into thy coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth. And they shall eat the residue of that which is escaped, which remaineth unto you from the hail, and shall eat every tree which groweth for you out of the field. And they shall fill thy houses, and the houses of all thy servants, and the houses of all the Egyptians, which neither thy fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen, since the day that they were upon the earth unto this day. And he turned himself, and went out from Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's servants had quite enough. And Pharaoh's servants said unto him, How long shall this man be a snare unto us? Let the men go, that they may serve the Lord their God. Knowest thou not yet that Egypt is destroyed? Pride cometh before the fall, man. Boy, does Pharaoh have a lot of it. And Moses and Aaron were brought again unto Pharaoh, and he said unto them, Go serve the Lord your God. But who are they that shall go? And Moses said, We will go with our young and with our old, and with our sons and with our daughters, with our flocks and with our herds will we go, for we must hold a feast unto the Lord. And he said unto them, Let the Lord be with you, as I will let you go, and your little ones. Look to it, for evil is before you. Not so. Go now, ye that are men, and serve the Lord, for that ye did desire. And they were driven out from Pharaoh's presence. Now, for those confused, because I was for just a second there, which is not great considering I'm the one that's reading this, but what you gonna do? Pharaoh's gonna let them go sacrifice to their God. But he's not letting the children go. Just the adults. That's it. Nothing more. Their children are staying here. and stated, "Go now ye that are men." Not the children, presumably not the women either. Just the men. Which is not what they asked for. And the Lord said unto Moses, "Stretch out thine hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come up upon the land of Egypt, and eat every herb of the land, even all that hail hath left." Yeah, boy. You should have just conceded. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt. Very grievous were they. Before them that were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such. That was a huge swarm of locusts, and they were hungry. Quite a ravenous bunch they were, for they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened. Ugh. And they did eat every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left, and there remained not any green thing in the trees, or in the herbs of the field, through all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste, and he said, "I have sinned against the Lord your God, and against you. Now therefore forgive, I pray thee, my sin only this once, and entreat the Lord your God that he may take away from me this death only." And he went out from Pharaoh, and entreated the Lord, and the Lord turned a mighty strong west wind, which took away the locusts, and cast them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the coasts of Egypt. But we're not done. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go. And the Lord said unto Moses, "Stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt." Hang on. And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. Ain't it lovely? And Pharaoh called unto Moses and said, "Go ye, serve your Lord, only let your flocks and your herds be stayed, and your little ones also go with you." And Moses said, "Thou must give us also sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice unto the Lord our God." It's kind of the whole point. "Our cattle also shall go with us. There shall not an hoof be left behind. For therefore must we take to serve the Lord our God. And we know not with what we must serve the Lord until we come thither." We don't know what he wants. Best to just take, everything. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. Ugh. And Pharaoh said unto him, "Get thee from me. Take heed to thyself. See my face no more. For in that day that thou seest my face, thou shalt die." And Moses said, "Thou hast spoken well. I will see thy face again no more." Chapter 11. And the Lord said unto Moses, "Yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether." After all this, you're getting kicked out. He does not want you here in the slightest. which, considering they wanted to be freed, that's a pretty good deal. Speak now, Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, because they want none of this. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt. Probably because he was feared, considering in the sight of Pharaoh's servants and in the sight of the people. And Moses said, Thus saith the Lord, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt. And all the firstborn of the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against any man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. When he calls you my people, he means it. And all these thy servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, this is still Moses talking for God, Get thee out, and all the people that follow thee, and after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in a great anger. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh will not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. This is gonna happen, because Pharaoh ain't gonna listen. And Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go. He's got a 400-year bit of slavery score to settle. I mean, as he states, revenge is mine, saith the Lord. Welcome to it. Chapter 12. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. This is your January. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Because, there are some circumstances where you're just not going to have access. So, if your neighbor's got enough, yeah, he can lend it to you. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep, or from the goats. And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. To let you know a little fun fact, the swaddling clothes that Jesus was wrapped in, they were specifically meant for this. You see, what they would do is, unsurprisingly, they need to protect the lamb on the long journey. So, they would swaddle them up. That way they wouldn't get a bruise or a blemish or anything along that line. Because, lamb shall be without blemish. So yeah, there's your fun fact. And they shall take up the blood, and strike it on the 2 side posts, and on the upper door post of the houses, wherein they shall eat. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread. Unleavened bread, just in case you don't know, is just basically bread without the yeast in it so it doesn't rise. It's just flat. And with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, or sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the purtenance thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. It's just not good to eat anymore. Thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night. And I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you, when I smite the land of Egypt. And I can imagine, considering it's just the blood he's looking for, and them staying up for the Passover, most likely some Egyptians heard this and went, "Oh no!" So they did the exact same thing, I can imagine. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven. Again, the yeast and the rising and all that such. See, I don't actually know if leaven is different from yeast, or if it's just like a King Jamesian word for yeast, like a unicorn's a rhinoceros apparently. But nonetheless, out of your houses, for whosoever eateth leavened bread, from the first day until the 7th, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the 7th day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them. You get a holiday, congratulations. Save that which every man must eat. That only may be done of you. Unsurprisingly, you gotta prepare the food. It's not like, I don't know, you can't make the food you're supposed to eat. That'd just be silly. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. And they do, currently still in Egypt. In Israel. They probably wish they could forget this day in Egypt. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread, until the 21st day of the month, at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger, or born in the land. It does not matter whatsoever. If you're like me, not an Israelite, not in the actual slightest, if you eat leavened, well, they're doing the whole Passover thing, and you're in the land of Israel, congratulations. Get out of here. Or, of course, born in the land, unsurprisingly, Same deal. That's one thing about God's laws when it comes to all this stuff. Not only in the religious rights, but also how Israel should run themselves as a nation, as we'll see a good bit later. Aside from a few bits here and there, excuse me. Aside from a few bits here and there, the stranger that is in the land, just somebody passing by the land of Israel, whether it be Roman, me, Joe from down the street, I don't know. They're under the same laws, which often was not the case. More often than not, back in the day, if you weren't from the land, congratulations, you were treated a lot worse, unless you were a merchant or somebody in actual power. So unless you got the money or the power, congratulations, you are a third-class citizen, if not less. If you are not from, let's say, Greece, for an example. Of course, back in the day, not modern day Greece. You get the idea. Anyway. You shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. And Moses called for all the elders of Israel, and said unto them, Draw out, and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill the Passover. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel, the doorpost, and the 2 side posts with the blood. So basically the top part of the door and the 2 sides. With the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning. For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians. When he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 side posts, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer to destroy the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. I cannot speak. And ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. Which, once again, modern day Israelites, they do that just fine. And it shall come to pass, when ye be come to the land which the Lord will give you, according as he hath promised, that ye shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, What mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, It is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshipped. Because, yeah, this is what they wanted. They want out of here. And the children of Israel went away, and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. So did they. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne, unto the firstborn of the captive, who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, Rise up, and get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord, as ye have said. Also take your flocks and your herds, as ye have said, and be gone. And bless me also. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people, that they might send them out of the land in haste. They want them gone. For they said, We all be dead men. Unsurprisingly, death of the firstborn. What if you're next? They want him gone. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, the kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And considering, once again, they want them gone, they're gonna give them whatever the heck they want so that they can freaking leave. See me. And the Lord gave the people favor, really fear, in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required. And they spoiled the Egyptians. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth. Though, of course, once again, this is using quote-unquote modern-day terms. I don't know what would have been Succoth back when, but Ramses, once again, is the land of Avaris. I've really got to learn the dadgummit term for this, but it's a term I like to call signposting. Basically just putting down a signpost saying, this is where historical event here happened. Like, for an example, if I said in, like, the 1400s there was a war between Native Americans in New York. Unsurprisingly, New York did not friggin' exist. But the area that New York is of New York, the area that New York is currently in, yeah, unsurprisingly, the land still existed. Similarly, in the actual city of Ramses, not a single ounce, not a smidgen of evidence for the Exodus. A good bit of evidence against it, considering, it didn't frickin' happen there. Especially considering this would have been way too late in the timeline. For one thing, we know when Solomon's temple was built. And he said specifically it had been 400 years since they left Egypt on the mass exodus. Timeline-wise, yeah, congratulations, that doesn't line up. Similarly, the fall of Jericho. According to the Bible, Jericho fell in the spring, with the walls falling first, and then the city was burned. Archaeologically, Jericho fell in the spring, the walls fell, and then the city was burned, which apparently is actually quite rare. Apparently, most of the time, the city's burned, then the walls fall. And unsurprisingly, on the Ramses Exodus date, that does not line up in the slightest. Plus, of course, there's one other thing. Like 30-ish, I think, years after the theoretical Ramses Exodus date, I should say, there's a tablet made by the son of the pharaoh of that particular time. And it mentions a bunch of things that Egypt had conquered using typical pharaoh pompousness, because they had a tendency to exaggerate from what I hear. And one of the things it mentions is Israel. The Israelites are no more, or something like that. Again, more conquer than total eradication. Once again, pharaohs are known to exaggerate. But the thing is, it doesn't talk about Israel the people. It talks about Israel the nation, in which, once again, timeline-wise, that does not frickin' work. It's like 30, even 40 years later from the Exodus date, congratulations, they're still wandering in the wilderness. At max, they may be fighting Jericho. But under the city of Ramses, in a place, as I stated before, called Avaris, there is a Semitic population. There was a high official of the Semitic people, in which, in his grave, there are no bones, because Joseph very specifically stated, don't leave me here when you leave. Bury me in Israel. bury me in the land we're going to inherit. So, that grave is gone. The pharaoh at archaeological Joseph's time even is buried by something English. It, translated into English means the waterway of Joseph. Similarly, there have been little king's signet rings, basically what he would stamp onto a document saying, Pharaoh approved. The weird thing is, they're not exactly pharaohs. They have a Hebrew name on them, specifically Yaakov. In other words, in English, Jacob. You know, Israel, the father of the children of Israel. That guy. And of course, you have the Semitic population, and you have the fact that they were mostly shepherds. You have what the Egyptians call the Hyksos expulsion, which a bunch of Semitic, colorful clothes wearing shepherds left on a mass exodus. You have something called the Ipuwer Papyrus that a lot of people kind of flip-flop on if it actually, holds any ground, if it's a work of fiction or anything. But it dates to the correct time. It is written like it's an official, writing to Pharaoh, giving him the news. And ultimately speaking, if you put your biases against the Exodus aside, it talks about the water turning into blood. It talks about the Egyptians, all of them having somebody in their house dead. It talks about the slaves, leaving Egypt en masse, very rich. It talks about days of darkness and hail mixed with fire. Every single thing I just read to you. Of course, it's written from the Egyptian perspective, but you get the idea. Also, similarly, in the historical Exodus with the Avaris thing, they've also found lists of slave names, all of them being Semitic Hebrew names, and similarly, there's a weird split in the population. I forget the specifics, it was about 60-40 or 70-30 split between the population, the lesser being the men and the more being women. Namely due to the fact that, the whole thing about Pharaoh telling everybody to throw their men children in the river so they drown, which is why Moses got put in the river in a basket so he could escape that fate, and why we're here in the first place talking about the Exodus. There's evidence all for this. It'd be a little silly to say that there isn't, considering this happened. It's just a matter of, do you actually accept that or not? In which, hey, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me in the slightest. God says to question everything, after all, and that includes me. Read the Bible for yourself. Just throw away my YouTube channel. Just read the Bible yourself. Look into this. All this archaeology that's been found. Look into a particular documentary series that I got this information from, called Patterns of Evidence, where this guy, mid-crisis of faith, goes around talking to experts in their field, both Christian, agnostic, and atheist, to find out, is there any actual evidence to this? He's got a whole series, and while it's a bit long, I highly recommend it. I don't believe this stuff for nothing. And ultimately speaking, if there was anything you would have to prove to me, it would be the Exodus. Genesis is full of stuff, but it's not exactly very detailed in its stuff. Big ol' events, but surprisingly, once again, not too much detail to go off of, just Babel, flood, things such as. In which case, they found Babel, by the way. Anyway, similarly, after the Exodus, it's all about kings and conquests. More impressive stuff, but smaller scale, you know? Miracles on Israel as a nation, and not something that is anywhere close to the grandiosity of Genesis or Exodus. Exodus is in that sweet spot. Well, of course, there is proof for the entire Bible. Exodus is the one you would have to prove that actually happened. Because it has the grand, amazing, absolutely cataclysmic things happening, but also the detail that you would need to actually look into this, find this, and various things such as. Enough to where we know when precisely all of this stuff happened. We know the Semitic population, the children of Israel just in general. We know Joseph. We know the Exodus date itself. It's dated around 1500 BCE. Ultimately speaking, we know. God says to have faith, but a lot of people have a tendency to mix that up. A lot of people see it more as a blind faith, but considering we need the distinction between faith and blind faith in the first place, that's not what he means. As stated, God says to question everything. That includes me, every single preacher you've ever seen, and God's word in general. He doesn't want you to be ignorant on any fact. He wants you to know, and know why you believe what you do, or why you don't. I'm not seeing any evidence for any other religion. Just Christianity. Just the Bible. Just the Torah. And ultimately speaking, that's why I believe. I ain't gonna believe in nothing. That's an atheist job. But I ain't gonna believe for nothing either. You gotta prove it to me, and I have been thoroughly convinced that the Exodus happened. That everything after it happened. We found David's house. We found evidence for the line of David. We found Caiaphas, the high priest's bones. We found evidence for Pontius Pilate. We found evidence for Jesus Christ, the fact that he died of treason on the cross, like the Bible states. There's an entire wing, if I remember correctly, in some museum about the book of Esther and all the evidence we found proving it. But once again, don't, and I repeat, don't take my word for it. You look into this yourself. This isn't a don't question me type of thing. You need to know the truth. If, of course, you actually want to. That's a whole different thing. Either way, let's finish up, shall we? Let's see. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot. That were men, besides children, not counting them. And a mixed multitude went up also with them. Stated, some of the Egyptians had also put the blood and all on their doors. And unsurprisingly, the rest of the Egyptians would have been a bit miffed at them. Like, oh, you threw your lot in with them. Okay, well, you get out of here too. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not tarry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victuals. Now, The sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord, the Israelites in other words, went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed unto the Lord for bringing them out from the land of Egypt. This is that night of the Lord to be observed, of all the children of Israel in their generations, in which, once again, modern-day Israelites, most of them do this. Most of them observe this, in which, fair, it's basically their 4th of July. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, This is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. It's only for Israel. Stated. Me as a Gentile. We got equal rights in most of the laws, but with something like this is specifically an Israeli holiday. I'm not a part of this. But every man's servant that is bought for money, and thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. He's basically part of the house. A foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall ye break a bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when the stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. It's the only exception. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law. Again, this very unique for Israel. One law shall be to him that is born, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you. Thus did all the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass the selfsame day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. Thank you for listening. God bless, and bye.